Hello YouTube, and today I'll be reacting to the worst franchise in America, Subway by the Fat Files. So let's check it out. Do you guys like Subway? I'm going to be very honest. Nowadays I don't go there anymore because it's too expensive, but I used to like it. The times that I went there, I really like it, especially the cookie. The cookie was the best part for me. I don't know if it is something bad if it is different in the United States, but here in Brazil it's kind of good. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, nowadays I don't think it is worth it anymore because it's too expensive, but it used to be very good. So let's watch it. Okay.
You know it's gonna be good when I have to call my lawyer before I post the video. Today we're talking about Subway. Why? Because I went there for like the first time in 10 years the other day and they asked me for a tip at checkout, which annoyed me. So then I looked into it and then I found out that you can get hepatitis from a sandwich. I'm not exaggerating.
Hepatitis? I worked at Subway when I was 21, got pretty sick of it, and it's not a great quality. Yeah, the thing is though, what I found really strange when I ate at Subway is because it's cold. The meat is cold. Why is it cold?
That actually happened, and it's like the tip of the iceberg. And to be honest with you, this is also the part where my lawyer explicitly told me to insert a disclaimer in this video. So here's Jake the lawyer, aka the Internet Esquire.
Okay, here's the deal, Subway Group, now wholly owned by affiliates of Rourke Capital and formerly known as Pete's Super Submarine Sandwiches. Mr. Fat Electrician is providing in this video true or substantially true information derived from reasonably reliable and publicly available material. There are no known falsehoods made, and any analysis of the material presented is made solely for the purposes of news reporting, protected commentary, or new understandings. In no way is this video or the things said by my client in this video in any medium now known or hereafter devised throughout the universe and in perpetuity in any way a sponsorship or endorsement of Subway Group. And any so-called conclusions drawn by my client as a result.
Deli sandwich are traditionally called. Oh, I didn't know that. I prefer this escalota. This is escalota. What do you mean? Club's Italian ham? Ciao, ciao. You're speaking Portuguese? What is happening? I have no idea what is club's Italian and ham. I mean, I know what is that Italian, and I know what is ham, but is those the names of a sandwich?
Result of the material are that of opinion, satire, or are otherwise accurate depictions preserved in their full context when not otherwise artistically interpreted for the purposes of valuable public commentary. And notwithstanding the foregoing, we reserve all right, title, and interest in and to the presentation of the material.
Italian sandwich? What is that? And a club sandwich? I have no idea what is that. The ham sandwich, I know what it is. I never heard of those.
Materials presented in this audiovisual format, and with God as our witness, pray that no binders be bound against you as a result of this video. I'm Jake the lawyer, signing off.
All right, in case you can't tell, this video is going to be unhinged, so let's just get the ad out of the way now, and then we can watch my blood pressure rise for the next 15 minutes straight. All right, story time. I used to go to Subway every single day my junior, senior year of high school, and the entire time I was in college, I pretty much exclusively survived off of Subway and protein shakes. And this is back in the day when that Jared from Subway guy that lost a bunch of weight was still in every other TV commercial and plastered all over billboards all over the country, and footlong.
Italian is usually salami, pepperoni, and maybe prosciutto, or an Italian loaf with mozzarella cheese. Oh, I never ate that. Club is a double-decker sandwich with turkey, ham, lettuce, tomato, and usually Swiss and cheddar. Turkey and ham. I don't think I ever ate any of these sandwiches. It's not really that common, at least for me. I never ate prosciutto. Prosciutto? Prosciutto?
Were $5. So when I went into Subway the other day for the first time in like 10
So this is kind of like the skinny sandwich. It's the sandwich that you eat if you want to lose weight. That was the marketing back in the day.
years, I was expecting the price, you know, probably went up a little bit. Inflation, everything going on. It's probably not $5 anymore. That's fine. I go in, I have my sandwich made, I get to checkout. My sandwich was like $19.
Oh, that's so expensive. That's why it's so expensive here in Brazil. It's super expensive for you guys, so it's way more for us. Oh my god.
Is that market price?
So right out of the gate, there's some sticker shock, but immediately I'm looking for silver linings. I'm like, okay, Subway's probably one of these companies that has like a pretty high minimum wage for their workers, and that's what's going to justify the price of the sandwich. It's actually going to the worker. That, you know what, that's fine. And then the cashier does the classic swivel the fucking tablet around, asking me how much money I want to leave for a tip.
Oh, you motherfuckers.
Immediately, I caved.
Man, this is so crazy to me, because here in Brazil, it's not common at all, the tipping. Nobody, you need to tip nobody. Here, usually there's no even pressure for to tip any service workers here. It's crazy. When I heard that's something that you need to do in the United States, I got like, oh my god. it would be something that I would hate to do. Because like the meal is already so expensive and I need to tip the people. Oh my god, it's crazy. Do I never tip nobody? Yeah, it's not common at all here. You don't need to tip anybody here, at least. Tipping is an outdated concept, frankly, but here it's just hard to get rid of because it's basically very rude and not to, and it's so integrated in the service industry. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I went once to a restaurant that I had to tip the waiter. Is it a waiter that you guys call? And I got so confused. he said like the tipping part, and I was like, oh, what do you mean the tipping part? What do you mean I need to tip you? But that restaurant had that. Yeah, waiter or server. Yeah. And I got so confused with that. I was like, I don't want to tip you. You didn't tell me that I had to do that in the beginning. If you told me I wouldn't come here, you know? But I paid it anyway. But usually, you don't really need to pay it. It was just once that happened to me. And I don't really have the habit of eating in restaurants, but all the restaurants that I ate, I never had to tip anybody. It was only once. It was Outback. You guys have that? I think you guys have it. Like, right? Outback? Standard tip is 15% of the price, 20% for good service, up to a point. Oh, that's so expensive, man. Oh, I'll never go to Netherlands. To your guys' country. Outback is good. Love the blooming onion. I went there only once because everything was expensive on the menu. But I went there because it was the end of a course that I was taking, a French course, and everybody from the class wanted to go there, so I had to go with them. I would never do that. Yeah, me neither. Like, even here when you tip, I don't think it is that much. The percentage? Yeah, it's true that I can make better steak at home, that's true. It is too expensive. When I went there, I was like, why did you guys pick this place? Can we each just go and eat at McDonald's? It's way cheaper, please. It would be super unusual for me to do that.
Societal pressure because I don't want this young lady to think I'm an asshole, so I leave a tip, I grab my sandwich, I go eat my sandwich. While I'm eating the sandwich, I'm just stewing. Like, I don't think I should have to tip the people that work at Subway. Not because I don't think, you know, they provide a service, they did a good job, or, you know, they deserve to make more money. They do, that's fine. But the company should be paying them more fucking money. I just paid 300% more money for my sandwich. Pay your employees more money. I understand Subway's a restaurant and like you tip people that work at restaurants, but it's not like I sat down, a waiter came out, took my drink order, took my food order, brought me my food. There was no service involved, okay? I stood there and told you how to make the fucking sandwich. I was the project manager on this sandwich, okay? As far as I'm concerned, I'm part of the team.
Part of the ship. Part of the crew, man.
At this point, I become convinced at some point in the past 10 years, all the big wigs at Subway got together in their headquarters in some secret underground layer underneath the volcano or wherever Subway's headquarters is, and they had a meeting, and in that meeting, they were like, okay, guys, we need to pay our employees more money. Option A, we can raise the price of the sandwich 300% and pay our employees more money. Option B, we can raise the price of the sandwich 300% and then we can add a tip screen. That way, when the employees are mad they're not making enough money, we shift the blame from us to the customer. Okay, I'm sorry, you don't get to charge me 4 times as much for a sandwich and then also try to paint me as an asshole to the high schooler behind the cash register. It's not gonna happen. So now I gotta know everything. I start digging into Subway.
What is... Grab a shovel.
So once upon a time, 1965, there's this 17-year-old kid named Fred DeLuca, and he wants to go off to medical school, but he doesn't have enough money to pay for it. So he's like, hey, my family has this rich friend. He's a nuclear physicist. He's got all kinds of money. I'm gonna go to him and ask for his advice, probably secretly hoping that the guy's just gonna offer to pay for my college. To his surprise, instead, nuclear physicist guy is like, I'm not gonna pay for your college, but I will give you $1,000 to start a sandwich shop, and me and you can go into business together, and then you can use the money from the sandwich shop to pay for medical school. And $1,000 in 1965 is like 20 grand today, so not an insignificant amount of money. So they open up Pete's Submarines, which is the original name for Subway, and for the first couple of years, they don't really make any money, and a humongous problem they have is people keep calling to order pizza. Because now Fred DeLuca and all the radio advertisements has a thick New York accent, so when he says Pete's Submarines, what people hear is Pizza Marines. So rather than learning how to say Pete's Submarines, he's like, fuck it, we're just gonna rename the restaurant Subway. From here, they start like breaking even. They're making a little bit of money, but like it's nothing to write home about. He's not gonna be able to go to medical school anytime soon. And he's like, okay, hear me out. I've got an idea. We're not really making any money with the submarine shop. What if we double down and open a second submarine shop?
Oh my god.
Dream big.
No.
Right?
Basically, he uses reverse psychology into tricking people to come in to eat these sandwiches because when he opens up a second location, people are like, oh my God, they're opening up second locations. They're expanding. They must be delicious. And he starts getting more business. Some of the best advice I've ever heard in my entire life when I was in the military was fake it till you make it. And that's exactly what they're doing here. And it works. Now, ultimately, this is going to be their downfall. But at the time, it makes sense. Fred identifies, hey, rapid expansion is what's making money. We're going to keep rapidly expanding. More locations, more money, more market dominance. Makes sense. So they start opening up Subways everywhere, and then they start franchising, which is, you know, basically, hey, you can use my branding, you can use all my vendors, I'll show you how to do this job. You pay me a bunch of money to open up a Subway, and then you give me like a percentage of your cut, and then they just start opening up franchises all over the United States. And this is actually brilliant for Subway because Subway has a ton of advantages when it comes to franchising. Because Subway, they're just making sandwiches. They don't need deep fryers. They don't need a big cooktop. They don't need all the stuff that other restaurants need. They don't need a ton of special equipment. There's not a bunch of special training. Everybody on the planet knows how to make a sandwich. So the overhead to open up a new restaurant
And even the customer is telling you what to do. That's crazy.
is extremely low. The amount of training you have to give employees is extremely low. And the amount of space that you actually need
Subway Jared? Do I know him? I have no idea. I don't think I do.
to have a functioning Subway is also extremely low because, again, they don't have ovens and deep fryers and all that other shit. Which also means that it's really cheap to start a Subway because there's not a lot of overhead. So you could open up a Subway for like $150,000 to $200,000, where competitors like McDonald's are like $2 million to open up a McDonald's. And this is where Subway's fixation with hyper expansion starts to bite them in the ass because, again, that's all they care about, just more Subways. More Subways is the answer. More Subways equals more money. Typically, with a franchise, the franchising company like Subway or McDonald's is committed to making sure that their franchisees, aka their restaurant locations and their owners, are successful. There's a lot of ways that they do this, and one of the big ones is typically having territories. So like Chick-fil-A or McDonald's will look at a city and be like, okay, this city has one McDonald's, it's big enough for 2 McDonald's, but we're gonna stick it on the other end of town.
He might bring it up. He was in other commercials when I was a kid. Then he got caught. It was all over the news for a while. Yeah, I think I've heard of Subway Jared, but I'm not really sure about anything. That's crazy. Oh my god. He was the one that got skinny in the commercial? Or is that somebody else?
So both of these franchises can be successful. Subway, on the other hand, doesn't appear to give a shit because remember, all they care about is having more Subways. More equals more money, so they don't care how close they get put together. And there's Subways across...
Ah, that was him? That's crazy. Man, they didn't even do like a background check in the dude, of the dude. But although it was here covered, okay. I mean, I don't think they could have done a background check on him because he didn't do it in the past, maybe. I guess he would have been caught before them. Yeah, maybe. Probably.
Across the street from Subways all over America. I'm not exaggerating. In my small town in Iowa, there's 3 Subways and 2 of them are in the same parking lot. One of them is in Walmart and the other one is like 200 yards.
Why? Why did they do that?
It's outside the front doors of Walmart as a standalone Subway. So obviously they start cannibalizing each other's profits. They're literally competing with themselves. And that's not even the worst part. The overall franchise agreement, I've looked into a lot of restaurants to have franchising. This is the worst one by far. I would be shocked if it's not the worst one on the planet. Not only if you open up a Subway, will they let somebody else open up another Subway right across the street and cannibalize a lot of your profits, they also have like the highest franchise fee that I've ever come across at 12.5%. And a franchise fee is taken from gross revenue, not gross profit, meaning before you even take out all the costs of running this business, Subway's taken 12.5% right off the top. To put it into perspective, McDonald's franchise fee is 8%. So Subway's is 50% higher for a much simpler business. And that's not even the worst part.
I have noted that he doesn't have this part of the tattoo. What happened here? Do you guys know? Did he ever explain that? You guys can see it because I'm in the way. Like this part here of his arm. What happened here? Did he burn this part? That's why he doesn't have the tattoo there?
In the Subway franchise agreement, well, in every franchise agreement, really, there's, you know, terms where you can revoke somebody's franchise. Basically, like if a McDonald's or a Chick-fil-A isn't living up to the McDonald's or Chick-fil-A name, they can take away the name so you're no longer a McDonald's or a Chick-fil-A, so you don't...
Maybe he forgot to finish the tattoo? I don't think so. It looks like more like a scar or something like that.
Ruin their reputation across the entire country. And Subway...
And there isn't even here, look, in his armpit. He doesn't have a part of the tattoo in the armpit. And there is in the other armpit. I don't know, maybe he got some kind of injury. I don't think he ever explained about that.
It has the same thing. That's fine. But theirs is intentionally broad, and they can basically take your location from you for a wide variety of reasons. And they've been taken to court multiple times, being accused of nitpicking minor stuff to take over very profitable locations, including in 2005 when they seized 2 subways in Dallas, Texas from a lieutenant colonel in the Army Reserve who was actively on deployment in fucking Afghanistan. Now, to be fair, I don't know what their
That's crazy.
justification was for why they seized the locations, but considering the fact that in 2009, Subway lost the court case to said lieutenant colonel because they deemed it illegal, I'm gonna say they weren't fucking good enough. But hypothetically, just for fun, let's just say they were good reasons. Subway corporate identifies 2 restaurants in Dallas, Texas that aren't living up to the Subway standard, and they're like, what's going on here? What should we do? Oh, the owner's on deployment in fucking Afghanistan and isn't there to run it appropriately. Should we A, step in and help during the most stressful time of their entire life, presumably?
I mean, it's crazy to think that a company is going to help you. But maybe they usually do that? I have no idea.
Or should we B, repo their businesses, take their family's livelihood, so that while they're also fighting a war, they can deal about their family back home and losing their business? Huge
Crazy.
W for corporate Subway. Makes them look great. I'm sorry, I'm getting horrifically sidetracked, but you guys get it. The franchise agreement is complete and utter bullshit and has been for the majority, if not the entire time Subway's been in business. Back to the timeline. In the 1980s and the 1990s, Subway is growing like crazy, and then in 1999, they have their first major scandal when 32 people in Seattle got hepatitis from 2 different Subway locations for eating a sandwich. One of which was a 6-year-old boy who went into acute liver failure and had to get a liver transplant.
Oh, that's
I
crazy.
didn't understand what you said. Could you put that in layman terms for me?
I'll be honest, didn't even know you could get hepatitis from a sandwich, but a new fear has just been unlocked for me, and I think we can all agree that, you know, the
What happened? How did he get that from the sandwich? Didn't they investigate what happened there? I never heard of it either.
healthy, fresh option giving you
Is it because but hepatitis? I'm not really sure how that works. Is it because the meat was like old or something? Or it was contaminated because the animal was contaminated? I have no idea. How did that happen?
hepatitis isn't a great look for Subway. So now Subway's hurting. They need a new PR campaign to turn this entire thing around. And in 2000, 1 year later, they find it in a college student that had lost like
Not sure how that one spreads. Yeah, me neither. Oh, there it is. This is this Subway's Jared?
250 pounds, supposedly only eating Subway, Jared Fogle. He starts filming commercials talking about how much weight he lost only
There he is.
eating Subway. He's bringing up his old pants and now he can fit in like one leg of the pants, showing off how much weight he lost. It is a humongous
Was that true? Did he lose weight by eating Subway, or they just got Arnold to do that?
marketing success. Legitimately one of the most iconic and successful marketing campaigns of all time. Everybody knows Jared from Subway. He becomes the face of the company. It's so successful that Subway corporate said between 2000 and 2011, they credit Jared's ad campaign with 1/3 to 1/2 of their growth during that time. And during that time, they tripled in size. So you can't really
Crazy.
argue with the results of this ad campaign. However, it's not something I'm
That's so crazy. You guys really care about losing weight. At least in past times, I guess. Because here, I don't think anybody would care that somebody lost weight by eating a specific sandwich.
I would ever advise having somebody off the street become the national spokesperson for your humongous company. Why?
Yeah.
Because if they do some crazy shit, it's going to make the entire company look bad. And this is why most huge companies have a fictional character as their mascot.
Yeah,
You've
that's
got
true.
Ronald McDonald, Burger King, the Michelin Tire Man,
That's true. Oh my god.
Tony the Tiger. They're cartoons. They're safe. They're never going to get pulled over for a DUI while they have a pile of blow and a hooker in the back seat. Like, that's the idea. And I'm sure you all know what I'm getting at because in 2015, Jared
It was last year?
Fogle ends up getting arrested and sent to federal prison for 15 years for, and I quote, illicit sexual conduct with a minor and having a bunch of illicit child material on his computer. Okay, unpopular opinion.
Oh my god, that's crazy. How did they recover from that? The marketing.
15 years, not enough. Okay, there's nothing funny about this, but the amount of just tragic irony and foreshadowing that the college student that got famous for fitting into a smaller pair of pants ultimately gets put in federal prison for trying to get in little kids' pants is horrific. Now,
2015. Oh, okay. I got confused with the numbers. It wasn't last year. Okay, okay.
That happened in 2015. Luckily for Subway, they'd kind of been phasing
Oh yeah.
Jared out as their head of marketing since 2008 when they came out with the $5 footlong. Again, I'm not saying a lot of positive stuff about Subway, but their marketing team is on point because the $5 footlong also is one of the most iconic marketing campaigns of all time. I mean, we all know the $5 footlong jingle. $5 footlong.
I mean, I'm going to be honest, I never heard of it.
The only jingle that's ever been made that's better than that is J.G. Wentworth, and I don't even know what the fuck J.G. Wentworth does, but I will know his song till the day I die. So the Subway $5 footlong absolutely dominates. This came out in 2008, right when, you know, the housing market crashed, the economy's in the...
And now it's 6 inches, half a foot for $6. Man, why does everything have to suck nowadays? Oh, I hate that.
Tank, you could go and buy a footlong sandwich for $5. People loved it. Well, most people loved it. Pretty much everybody loved it except for the franchise owners, because the franchise owners were like making little to no money. Some of the sandwiches they were even losing money on at the $5 price point. But they have to do it because Subway can set the prices, and if they can't set the prices, they can at least advertise the fuck out of it so everybody that comes into your Subway expects a $5 footlong, and then once you've already made it and they're mad that...
I mean, they could do a $5.99. dollars. That's usually what they do. They put the 99 to make, you know, to make it expensive here, pricier, but not. You don't really think about it that much, you know.
It's not $5, what are you gonna do? Throw it away? You're gonna sell it for $5 and save what money you can. I know what you're thinking. Why would Subway be willing to make a $5 footlong if they're not making money on it? Oh, that's simple, because Subway corporate doesn't give a fuck about its franchise owners. At least that's what it would appear to be, right? They're screwing them over left and right, and Subway takes 12.5% of their gross revenue, meaning not profit, so they're taking 12.5% of that $5, even if it costs them $6 to make it. Subway corporate is still getting paid. Fuck the franchise owner. And this is kind of the peak and then the downward slide of Subway, because the controversies just keep coming after this. First, they get busted because the footlongs aren't actually a foot long. People are walking in with tape measures, measuring them. They're 10 inches.
A foot long? How long is that in centimeters? Let me see it. It's the size of a foot? My foot? Ah, it's more than 30. It's 30 centimeters. Okay. Then 6 inch is 15 centimeters. I see. It's kind of like the size of a ruler.
11 inches, not 12 inches. Okay, and I'm going to kind of defend Subway on this one because this is a stupid complaint. It's the same amount.
The rumor, he had AIDS. I'm not sure if that's true. Who? The Jared Subway? Subway Jared? The king's food according to legend? Who? Which king? Man, that's so confusing. Night shorts? Yeah, it's the shorts that I use in real life.
Amount of dough, they just didn't stretch it out enough before they put it in the oven. It's the same amount of bread, the same amount of calories. You're getting what you paid for. And that's really all Subway had to say. It was like, hey, sorry, the employee didn't stretch the dough out long enough before he stuck it in the oven, but all the bread is still there. And everybody would have been like, oh, that makes sense. That's cool. Do you think that's what Subway did? No. Absolutely not. Instead, they released an official statement on their Facebook that says, and I quote, with regards to the size of the bread and calling it a footlong, Subway footlong is a registered trademark as a descriptive name for the sub sold in Subway restaurants and not intended to be a measurement of length. Translation, just because we call it a footlong doesn't mean you can expect it to be a foot long. That's just what we call.
Yeah, that wasn't good for them to say that. One of them? Oh, that's crazy.
Call it, you fucking idiot. Yeah, that Facebook post went about as well as you'd expect. They ended up taking it down. The balls to be like, we call it a footlong sub because we call it a footlong sub, not because it's 12 inches long, and if you interpret it as that way, you're dumb, is insane. To be fair though, a 2x4 hasn't been a 2x4 since like 1960.
Oh yeah, I have seen this image before.
And nobody seems to care. Probably because the lumber companies don't scoff and look at you like you're a moron if you expect a 2x4 to be 2x4, but whatever. So then Subway loses their damn mind. They think they have trademarked the phrase footlong in regards to sandwiches, even though a footlong to them doesn't mean 12 inches, which ultimately leads them to suing Casey's gas station, which I've done a video on. My favorite pizza on the planet is Casey's gas station pizza. They file a lawsuit against Casey's because Casey's also makes sub sandwiches. sandwiches, and their 12-inch long sandwich they call a foot long. So Subway tries to sue them for trademark infringement on a fucking measurement. A measurement that they don't even abide by. Do you understand how fucking insane that is? That'd be like if I opened up a milk company and I sold, quote, gallons of milk, and I trademarked the phrase gallon of milk, and then I only sold you 3 quarts of milk, and then I turned around and sued the motherfucker actually selling you a gallon of milk. It's insanity. Obviously, they lost this fucking lawsuit because duh. So Subway's on its down slump, and then they just lose all credibility as being healthy in the coming scandals. Buh! What do you mean it's not healthy? Jared lost 250 pounds doing it. Buh! Okay, Jared lost a bunch of weight because he was eating 2 6-inch subs a day, and they were mostly vegetables. He was eating like 1,200 calories. You can eat 1,200 calories of literally fucking anything, and you're gonna lose weight. If you eat
1,200. 1,200? How much is that? Average calories per day is 2,000. Yeah, that's what I heard. But 12. Ah! Oh my god, who was eating less calories than me? That's crazy. The time that I used to count my calories, I think I used to eat like I don't really remember if it was. I think it was maybe 1,400 when I was counting it. Nowadays I don't count it anymore.
1,200 calories of Slim Jims and M&Ms, you're gonna lose weight, especially if you're doing a bunch of cardio chasing children at a playground like that sick pervert. In 2017, CBS, the news network, decided they were gonna conduct a little study on Subway chicken. They went, they bought a sandwich, they took the chicken, took it to a lab, and found out that the chicken that Subway sells is anywhere from 42% to 53% chicken. What the fuck?
What is the other percent that? I just try to only eat until I'm not hungry and not get full. Yeah, I usually do that too.
Is the rest of it? Wait, let me guess. You trademarked the term chicken breast, and now if anybody assumes that a chicken breast is made out of chicken, we're obviously fucking stupid. Is that what it is? Thankfully, no, they learned their lesson. They did not go that route again. What they did was they're like, okay, we're fucking up. We're gonna make sure that the chicken is actually 100% chicken. No, I'm just kidding. They turned around and tried to sue CBS for malicious news and took them to court, and they lost again. Because as it turns out, it's not illegal to tell the truth.
There is no way in hell that I am going to say oh, I'm really worried I'm going to say it.
Then in 2020 in Ireland was instituting a new tax where they were going to, have to tax more on food made in restaurants, and Subway came to the table and they argued, well, Ireland has certain staple foods that you can't increase taxes on, and one of those staple foods is bread, and we make all of our bread fresh in our restaurants. We should be exempt from this tax. Okay, not a big fan of Subway right now. I'll admit it. I'll be up front. However, that's a reasonable point, and Ireland agrees. And Ireland is like, okay, we hear you. Send some bread off to the lab, and we'll take a look at it. They send the bread off to the lab, and the Irish Supreme Court comes back and says, there's so much fucking sugar in this bread, you're not legally allowed to call this bread in the country of Ireland. You have to classify this as cake. You're selling
cake? That's crazy.
Cake sandwiches. And all of this.
Why so much sugar? Why add so much sugar there? What? That's crazy.
It just keeps coming out one after another after another. It's promoted by a pedophile. The franchises aren't making money. The foot-long sandwiches are only 10 inches long and they're not bread. They're made out of cake. Half the chicken inside the chicken isn't even fucking chicken. Obviously, it leads to the public perception that Subway isn't that fucking healthy. And while all this is going on, they get rid of the $5 foot-long and jack the fucking prices through the roof.
I mean, it's quite complicated to expect fast food to be healthy because I have no idea. But I think usually the fast food is unhealthy because they have to put like a bunch of conservatives on everything, like the meat, the vegetables, the bread, everything, so that it won't rot. It doesn't matter how much time it passes. That's the American way. Add sugar until it's addictive. Man, it would be better if they added just cocaine. It would be way better.
And then add a tip screen at checkout. Needless to say, Subway's in the fucking tank. They've closed down 7,600 locations since 2015, and they're closing down hundreds, if not thousands of locations every single year, and they are on a humongous...
Preservatives are something I try to avoid. Yeah, that's true. I usually try to avoid too, but I have eaten stuff that doesn't have a lot of preservatives or almost none, and it goes bad so fast. It's crazy. Like, depending, if you, like, I think I have made jelly and some natural juices, and of course, since I made it at home, there's no preservatives in there. So it went bad super fast, like in 2 or 3 days. It's bad already, especially juice. If you do a juice in another day, by the end of the day, it's bad already, or something like that. God bless you, student. See.
Decline. And this entire thing is just a textbook example of shitty leadership ruining an A-grade idea, because a Subway franchise was a golden idea, a brilliant...
So you guys call it preservatives, not conservatives? Yeah, I mean... Is it the conservatives? Oh, I haven't eaten my share of red already. It's because you said a share. Man, I need to get rid of this stuff because it keeps getting you guys blocked. I'm sorry about that. My share of red 40. I don't think we have red 40 here in Brazil though. I'm going to be honest.
Brilliant idea. Super cheap to start up, didn't need any specialized equipment. Everybody that knows how to breathe and chew bubble gum can learn how to make a sandwich in like 5 seconds. It was so easy to make a ton of...
But not trying to sound like Brazil have healthy food, because they really don't have. Especially the vegetables and like that stuff that grows in the ground. It has so much, like, we have no... almost... I mean, you guys, I think you guys call it like policies. We have almost no policies when it comes to using those venoms on plants, you know. So the farmers and like the people that grow stuff here, they use the most craziest venoms on the plants, and then we eat those. The pesticides, yeah, we have a bunch of them, like really bad ones that have seen, like they cause the cancer and all that. We have those. So I think you might be safer eating something that is not like grown on the ground. It's a food dye that's illegal almost everywhere, but here, oh, that's crazy. Yeah, I think it is illegal here too, but like we have other stuff that is bad too. I think almost every country has like bad food, you know.
Of money, but instead Subway corporate was like, we're gonna make as much money as possible and fuck over all the franchisees even though they're on our team. All they had to do was be like, hey, we're gonna structure this in a way so that the franchisees are winning, then we're gonna win and everybody's gonna fucking win. But no, they took the easy way out to make as much money as they could, as fast as they could, and they didn't give a shit about anybody else.
A friend of mine who works on a farm use a lot of pesticides. Yeah, they do. Especially those bigger ones that have the planes that goes through and woo, you know, throwing out the pesticides.
And it tanked the entire company. They ended up selling to Rourke Capital in 2024, which owns Jimmy John's and Arby's and a bunch of other restaurants. So hopefully a lot of this bad leadership stuff is gone already, or if not, it's getting phased out. Also, I've talked an outrageous amount of shit in this entire video, so I want to take a minute and just be like, hey, I understand if you're mad at Subway right now too. I am as well. However, your local Subway branch probably isn't owned by Big Subway. It's probably owned by somebody in your community that's just trying to make a living making sandwiches, and don't take it out on them. It's not their fault, and they're probably a lot.
Oh my god, why? Sure, like, don't take it out on them, but why would you think they have anything to do with that? That's why I'm gonna get this gather going. I already got some baby cherry tomato starters. Ah, that's so great! I live in a city that has a lot of farms. Oh, that's crazy. I never... But don't you live in Rio de Janeiro? I didn't know Rio de Janeiro had farms. Yeah, I tried getting like a garden that to grow food. So who is from Rio de Janeiro then? I remember I had a dude that was from Rio de Janeiro here. Did I get confused? You are from the south. I see. So you aren't blonde then. You are one of the ones that is not blonde, I guess.
A lot more mad at corporate Subway than we are, trust me. Thank you for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch, maybe drink some Echelon. Links for both of those are over at thefatelectrician.com. Quack bang out.
Ooh, it has so much information. I have no idea. I had no idea why Subway was going downhill, so now I know it.